Naomi, last fall, I had the privilege of attending the opening of Beautiful, your collaborative exhibit, and witnessing this remarkable beauty in the face of suffering. The suffering of these women was immense, yet their joy was profound. Is it possible to have joy within our suffering?
Yeah, so I'll back up and then kind of work my way forward there. So these are women who had been victims of burning. So some of them were from domestic violence, some were suicide attempts, some were household accidents. And the first time I visited that place there in Southeast Asia, I was actually struck by the profound beauty of each one of these women. And as this idea for a photography book to bear witness to this beauty, and essentially that idea of how suffering, it is not to minimize the horrors and atrocity of suffering, but only to show just that idea that suffering, even in its harshest blows, cannot actually snuff out beauty and intrinsic value. In fact, it somehow serves to raise that up for all of us to see. And one of the painters for that exhibit, actually, he painted each one of the women with a gold leaf first and then painted over it. And in those brush strokes, as he painted over, the shimmers of that gold leaf would shine through the places of scarring and just the symbolism of that. When my daughter saw the exhibit, she was probably, I guess, 5 at the time. And I said, "Did you see anything beautiful in here?" She said, "All of these women are so beautiful." And there was one woman with lips who'd been burned who tended to cover them up. And she said she shouldn't cover them up. She should let everyone see them. And when I took her to India, she met that lady and said to her, "You have the most beautiful lips I've ever seen. I don't think you should ever cover them up." And the woman just smiled and lowered her hand. Can you have joy in suffering? Yes, I think that you can. And I think it's actually perhaps even, I would word it more strongly, it's not just in spite of suffering, it's through it. And in spite of almost implies kind of somehow you work around it. But I think that there can be a deep joy that comes through it. And from some of what I said, that the reality is when we look at suffering and when we begin to articulate or understand why it is that we hurt or what was lost, it serves to bring forth that beauty. So that beauty of that life, what it meant to us. I think Diane's story is extraordinary. It is life that her daughter gave. And I'm listening to this as a mother thinking how proud she must be as a mom for what her daughter gave to so many, but also that as a mother, like she gave that gift because that choice was with her. That choice rested with her and she chose to do that. And out of that suffering, I think then we can experience what is a true joy. I don't think joy is like a superficial giddiness. It is a deep understanding that even through it all, my stronghold rests in something else. And these things that I love cannot be taken from me, but they actually serve to guide me in my way forward.
Thank you, Naomi. And I think, and I concur with you, Naomi, we really can't experience joy unless we've experienced suffering. I think both are a byproduct of each other.